Developing today, Prince Harry's meltdown. New reporting reveals that he is in bad dad therapy over fears he could become a deadbeat father and divorcee like King Charles. We're going to get analysis on this shocking decline, and that is really what it is, actually, from Angela Levin, Prince Harry's biographer, in just one moment. But first, let me take you through this new reporting from Radar Online's Matthew Acton, who writes, petrified Prince Harry is seeing a therapist to avoid becoming a deadbeat dad like Prince Charles. It's King Charles now, isn't it? Radar Online can reveal. The royal still resents Charles's treatment of his mum, Princess Diana, who confessed she was left feeling closed off by her former husband's cruelty seconds after she delivered Harry. She said the first words out of her then husband's mouth when Harry was born was a hint that the ginger-haired boy may have been the result of Diana's affair with red-headed cavalry officer James Hewitt. Diana said Charles sneered when he laid eyes on Harry and said, "Oh God, it's a boy and he's even got red hair." She added, "Something inside me just closed off." The princess also claimed that she hid Harry's gender from Charles because she knew how much he wanted a little girl. She went on to self-harm over Charles's snide comments about her weight. A source said about Harry's big into wellness and mental health, now thanks to Meghan's influence and his involvement in mental health charities. He's been supported by Meghan in his decision to see a counsellor as he's racked with fear he will fall into the classic trap of repeating mistakes from the past. It's well known how scarred he is by tales of Charles's cruelty to his beloved mother, and he sees therapy as a way of becoming the best dad possible to his son Archie and little girl. His therapy is classic blame the parents stuff. It's not that he's a bad dad, he just wants to do everything he can not to do what Charles did. They added Harry is also still horrified over Charles's handling of Diana's death. Now look, Angela, you spent all of that time with Harry. You know how complex his emotions are when it comes to his father, but I think the guy's in trouble at the moment. I've got a couple of videos from him this week, which I want you to look at in just one moment. But first, do you really think more therapy, more slagging off of Charles, more blaming your dad is the solution here, Angela? Really?
Two important things to tell you,
okay,
really.
Good.
This feeling that he has, that Diana said that Charles, her husband then, didn't want another boy, right? In my book, and I got it before, but let me read you something. Charles was there for the whole of the birth, which he wasn't with William, and he said afterwards it was a marvellous experience. And he said he decided after a month that he would give an interview to a television in America and tell them all about having a second son. And it wouldn't have done that unless he was very, very excited about it. And he said that Harry is absolutely adorable. It's very, very interesting to have a second child, because once you have a second one, you are really relaxed as a parent, and you're able to communicate to him. An atmosphere is much greater. And Harry is extraordinarily good. He sleeps marvellously and he eats very well. Now, don't tell me that's somebody who wanted a girl. Right? He loved him. What he might have said is that, "Oh, I'd have loved a little girl. Oh, never mind." But it's not actually that's the end of the world. And he wasn't actually against him in any way. And the other thing that I'd just like to tell you quickly is that, Harry is trying to make his father actually really ill, and he wants to go on and on and on until he gets his way. But if he's going to make another sort of talk to the BBC like he did before, which is extremely rude and extremely powerful, why should the Charles see him? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. If you want to get round someone, you apologise, you go and see them, you're quiet, you don't want to. He is still determined to go and get the king to apologise for Meghan. You see, everything he does is about apologising to Meghan and being nice to Meghan. And he won't actually, there's no point going to a psychiatrist or anybody like that if you're still living in that place. It's not going to work. He's got to recover himself before he can actually get help, and he won't listen. So he's not going to be able to. He won't let himself, because this is the only thing he's got. It's her, isn't it, and the children, because he doesn't want to leave them. I'm quite sure about that, and he doesn't want to upset, not even leave her, but upset her. And you can't go to anybody to help you with mental problems if you're not going with a sort of open mind to do it, and he was not. So it's a nonsense.
It is, Angela, but I mean, I've seen Harry in these videos this week, and
Okay.
I wanted to show them to you, Angela, because I think he genuinely is losing it at the moment. So there's this speech that he's giving for Travelist,
Yes.
but it's like he's going through the motions. He doesn't look engaged. He just looks and feels like a broken man, I thought, when he was delivering the speech. In that speech, it's the worst I've ever seen him. He looks and feels broken, and it's like he doesn't believe what he's saying. He's going through the motions.
Robotic, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like wind you up, blah, blah, blah. Yes.
Did you see that?
It's very, very sad. I think it's very, very sad. But he has to change the direction of what he's doing, isn't he? I mean, because this man, if he goes to somebody, they're going to try and persuade him. He wants them to help him persuade his father to see his children, and he hopes that the person can help him. But if you never see a person's face, you're not going to fall in love with them. You don't say, "Oh, aren't they sweet? Aren't they lovely?" And King Charles, I can't imagine sort of scrambling through to try and find something where you can see a bit of a face or anything like that. I mean, it has to be realistic. It's very, very difficult for him, but he needs a partner, i.e. Meghan, who will help him now and say, look, let me help you. Let me help you make yourself a different sort of a person. I know you love me. You've helped me. You've gone everywhere, every magazine to keep me going. And now can I help you? That might be helpful. Instead, she goes for a swing and brings in a bottle of wine and is absolutely me. And this is the tragedy. He can go to 10,000 different therapists, and that nothing will happen if Meghan says, what you've got to do is me, go and send to do this, go around and sort that out and make sure they apologise to me for not putting me on the front. He can't.
Well, this week, the Daily Mail is claiming that the reason behind Prince Harry's decision to allow Meghan Markle to pimp out the children, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, all over Instagram, is because he's effectively trying to get to Charles. And they report that Harry's completely heartbroken and that Charles is now refusing to see Harry or the kids, even on Zoom. And they say it isn't a PR move, but it's desperation on his part because he wants Charles to see what he's missing. What do you make of that?
Well, it's ridiculous, isn't it? You're not missing when you don't see someone's face. To see their back is a ridiculous aim, isn't it? To see the length of their hair isn't going to tell you anything about them. There we are with the roses. Now, would you fall for those two children? They look very sweet, but they're not actually. Well, those are too young now. They are back again. You just see them by their back, and that's not going to work. There's no point loving them when they were, 1 or 2, and everybody's laughing. You want to see children who come over and will spend a few days and you can see what they're really like. But he won't do that, will he? Because he's got to have protection 3 days or 5 days a week. And you can't have somebody who's going to go into the room and start shouting about what they have to do with Meghan and how disappointed they are and they didn't give him enough money. You can't do that because Charles has also got a cancer problem and you've got to be very careful about these things. He's not going in with a good heart about his parents. He's going in to punish them and to not his parent, his father and his brother. He can't do that until he recovers that anger that he's got inside him. And he won't cover that until Meghan puts on a different face and helps him, not anybody else. None of anybody else matters. It's him. If she really looks after him, he needs looking after and caring for. Absolutely he does. But she's the only one who can help him to go there. And she won't do that because she likes him just to be servile.
Yeah, it's just so bizarre, the whole thing.
It's his fault. I mean, the way he behaved on the BBC was disgusting. His book was disgusting. The interviews are disgusting. You can't actually, unless you really, not grovel, but you can grow up and apologise and say, give me a chance and I will do my very best. But Meghan won't let him do that, and I can't imagine him doing it either. So, I think he's been to loads and loads of therapists, but they've never been able to help him because he won't let them. It's like if you are an addiction to drink, there's no point going to somebody who says, and he can't anyway. And the trouble is that if he does talk to Harry about other things, about the weather or anything, Harry can say that he actually wanted to talk to me about the issue at court. And who would know otherwise? And he could lie. He's lied before and he's lied many a time in his book. And that's that would be terrible for the king and terrible for the monarchy.
Angela, Meghan Markle has also been exposed this week for lying in that Emma Grede interview. Now, we spoke about it earlier in the week and we decoded the whole thing. So, by the way, if you do actually want to know the truth about that interview with my analysis and Angela's expertise, then you can go and find that video on Instagram. But it was specifically, Angela, something that you pointed out, which was this claim from Meghan that she took Archie and Lily to sell their homegrown fruit and veg at the local market in Montecito. And I remember you saying, Angela, you immediately said to me on air, well, why have there been no pictures of this? How did this happen? Well, X under Elon Musk has this community notes feature, which effectively is a reader-generated fact check of lies that are told by people in the public domain. Like, you don't want to get one of these. Well, Meghan has, because the note has been added saying you need certification and approval in order to sell produce and other items privately. Their family is not listed. So, Angela, this was...
I didn't...
Yes, this was clearly... clearly, it was just a lie. It was just a lie.
My goodness. Oh, my goodness. That proves such a lot, doesn't it? Well, I mean, it didn't make sense to me that you would let a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old go and tell them that they can go and sell vegetables and fruit that they've grown in their own garden. But then she says she wanted to learn the value of money. Now, tell me a 4-year-old would understand what she's talking about money. A 6, maybe little bit. But, would she leave them by themselves?
The words, "he's lost it," immediately suggest that Prince Harry has reached an emotional breaking point. The word meltdown makes the claim even more dramatic. But those are descriptions of someone's alleged emotional state, not necessarily established facts. Unless Harry himself has publicly described his reaction, or a credible source has independently verified it, we should treat that language as commentary. That does not mean the underlying story is unimportant. It simply means we need to look beyond the headline. One of the central elements of this story concerns claims about Meghan Markle and counseling. Counseling and mental health are deeply personal subjects. That means any claim about someone's treatment, therapy, or private emotional circumstances should be approached carefully. There is an important distinction between someone publicly discussing their own mental health and outside commentators claiming to know about a person's private counseling. If Meghan has not personally confirmed a particular claim, we should not automatically treat it as established fact. Meghan Markle has previously spoken publicly about mental health and difficult experiences during her time as a working member of the royal family. Her public interviews have included discussions about emotional struggles, pressure, and the challenges she says she experienced. Those statements have generated both support and criticism. Supporters argue that Meghan's openness helped draw attention to mental health issues. Critics have questioned aspects of her accounts. Regardless of those disagreements, discussing mental health responsibly requires separating what Meghan herself has said from claims made by other people. The second major element of the story involves an allegation concerning King Charles. This is where the story becomes even more sensitive. Before drawing conclusions, viewers need to know exactly what the allegation is, who made it, and whether there is independent evidence supporting it. An allegation is not the same thing as a confirmed fact. That distinction is particularly important when discussing members of the royal family, because claims about private family relationships can spread extremely quickly online. The obvious question is why these claims would supposedly cause such a strong reaction from Harry. Harry's relationship with his father has been the subject of extensive public discussion for years. He has spoken about his relationship with King Charles in interviews, documentaries, and his memoir. At various points, Harry has expressed both affection and frustration toward members of his family. That complicated history means almost any new allegation involving Charles and Harry is likely to attract intense attention. But again, we should not assume Harry's private reaction without evidence. This is perhaps the biggest question surrounding the headline. There is a difference between Harry being upset about a story and actually having a public meltdown. Unless there is a verified statement, public appearance, or credible reporting documenting such a reaction, the word meltdown should be treated as sensational commentary. It may be useful for attracting clicks, but it does not automatically tell us what happened behind the scenes. Whenever Harry is involved in a controversy, Meghan is often brought into the discussion. That is partly because the couple has presented themselves publicly as a partnership. Their interviews, projects, and statements have frequently been connected. As a result, criticism of Harry can quickly become criticism of Meghan, and vice versa. But that does not mean Meghan is responsible for every statement Harry makes or every controversy surrounding him. Each claim should be examined on its own merits. So, has Prince Harry really lost it over claims involving Meghan Markle's counseling and an allegation concerning King Charles? At this point, the dramatic language surrounding the story should be treated cautiously. There are legitimate questions about Harry's relationship with his father, Meghan's publicly discussed experiences, and the continuing tensions between the Sussexes and the royal family. But there is a major difference between documented statements and claims about what people supposedly feel or do behind closed doors. That distinction is especially important when the subject involves mental health and private family matters. Now we'd like to hear from you. Do you think Harry and Meghan should continue speaking publicly about their experiences with the royal family, or would it be better for everyone involved to leave these family matters private? And what do you make of the latest claims involving King Charles? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more coverage of Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, King Charles III, Prince William, Princess Catherine, and the British royal family.